Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Open Championship, bets, picks, one and done, full preview. This is the show. If you missed any of the previous three, highly recommend that you go check those out right now. But as a reminder, while you're here, smash the like button to the episode. Sub to Mayo Media Network down in the comment section. Please tell me who you're betting this week, because I might have to scan that, because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. I want to hear from you, the people out there, who you are betting for the 151st Open Championship from Royal Liverpool. Additionally, the DraftKings Listeners League is over half full right now. The link is down in the description. Let's fill that up as quickly as possible so you don't miss out. Geoff Fienberg, did you bet on Rory in Scotland?
No.
No, neither did I.
Neither did I. Like a very little, like plus 300 on Sunday when I woke up at 7-1 after like Hatton doubled. I mean, when I woke up at 7 at like 3-1. Apparently Hatton was in it while I was sleeping. But no, I didn't bet Rory actually to care. Just, want some losses back. It's about all I could do.
Well, it's a new week, although we lost on both tournaments last week. We have another 2 tournaments to go. I mean, we're not going to get to the second tournament this week. We're not talking about the Barracuda. Sorry for all my friends in the Reno, Tahoe area, or just big fans of alternate field events. We got a major championship. It is the final one for the season. I'm giving away $2,000 to one of you out there. More details on that in a minute, or if you just want to skip ahead to that, just hit the description. You can find the newsletter link down there. Every detail is in that newsletter, including subscribing to the free newsletter, which will get you 10 ballots in that draw for the $2,000. But let's bring him in right now. He is currently a big game hunter after picking Wyndham Clark to win the U.S. Open, so we need to see who he has this time around. His name, Tim Undercust!
Tim Undercust.
It's not my name. It's a pleasure to be with you here today to discuss the Open Championship. It's been 10 years since it's been to Liverpool, and I'm very excited as King Charles III to invite you to this tournament, to the first Open Championship of my reign.
I don't know if I actually know what he sounds like.
Really? You don't know? Well, this is what he sounds like.
This isn't horrible.
The key to doing a King Charles impersonation is to keep your teeth closed while you talk. And then you get the sound just right.
See, Geoff,
I don't think that's horrible.
I gotta say, I don't know whether it's horrible or not, because every other impression that he has sounds nothing like the person he's trying to impersonate. This sounds like a capable British accent.
Yeah, no, that was quite well done. And Charles does have that like weird, most people you'd call it an accent, but with him, it's like an English drawl. Almost.
Yes, exactly. I'm working on it. I'm so confident with my picks that I didn't feel like I needed to do a whole lot more research. I had time to work around on my accents. Because I'm a big game hunter here. Don't ever forget that, in case you had forgotten that.
Really, CUSTPicks.com, Geoff? Is that his new tout site?
Yeah, really, CUSTPicks.com is his new tout site. We ran through them all, like CUST Run Good, Run CUST, CUST Nation, CUST National, CUST Spurts.
I mean, I was big on Run Pure Cust. .com. $8,000 a month to subscribe.
I am curious. Yeah, like Tim, I'm curious what his like process was for this one. And I don't remember. I have this memory that we've spoken recently and you named some names, but I don't remember talking to you since after the US Open, unless I've completely missed a show you were on.
Well, it would make sense that if he was out there naming names, because if there's one person in this world who is the most like Ned Isakoff, it's Tim Undercust.
Yes, that's me.
You do write for the Daily Worker. Never forget that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Don't worry, brother. I'm definitely working on that.
Oh wait, is that you or Davis? I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I found your research show to be extraordinarily important for me this week. I thought it was excellent.
I'm usually a download and not listen subscriber to the podcast. So for a change, I actually did some listening. And what I learned was really valuable. Accurate driving, Sawgrass is the most important comp, and to a lesser degree, Augusta. And so that's sort of where I'm going here.
Okay, so I don't know if that's what I took away from the research show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I took from it, is that people who are excellent at Sawgrass and to a lesser extent Augusta National are people that you want to target this week.
I mean, it does correlate when you look at some leaderboards, and even Coley and I talked about that on the player-by-player show, like why Augusta does. I just don't think that maybe at the top end, that does make a lot of sense. The issue being, those courses literally have nothing in common with each other, Augusta National and Royal Liverpool. The only thing that they have in common is that if you're one of the best players in the world, you tend to do well, which is a lot of courses.
And
I didn't know what to make of the Augusta comp. And even just the fact that Rory and Tiger have won here. Like, already we seem to be catering to good players. Sawgrass in and of itself, though, historically feels like a wild card. I mean, certainly we've seen players continue to play well there and be comfortable over time, but we've seen guys play fantastic there and then play horribly all within the same tournament or all within back-to-back years. The Sawgrass thing just makes sense just for the amount of landmines.
Yes.
Like week to week on the PGA Tour, you got to find a shitload of trouble to make anything worse than a bogey. And your misses can be wide, and you're still able to make par at most locations. It does seem like this is a landmine-filled property, which then makes sense, even though there's not nearly like the bodies of water you could hit it into per se. Just the fact that OB is OB, and maybe the winner even makes a double this week.
And you're going to need to reload off the tee if you do hit it OB. I really think that the fascinating one is going to be, I believe it's number 5, the drivable par 4. It's like 361 yards. I think some guys are going to take a crack at it. But if you just draw it a bit too much, or the wind is swirling right to left, I guess if the wind is swirling right to left on that hole, you just kind of lay back and don't even bring it into play. But some of these goobers are going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, but didn't Tiger not even hit a single driver here?
I believe he hit 2-iron every single drivable hole. Yeah,
I thought he hit driver on the first hole of the tournament, and they just put it back in the bag, and we never saw it again.
Yeah, maybe. And I don't know, Rory's got that 2-iron already on full go. Yeah, it's 2-iron. It's 2-iron season. Of course it is.
I mean, and you're right, though. I think when we think about Sawgrass, I think that PGA National is another one that comes up, and I think that Bay Hill is another one that comes up. Just the Florida courses in general, or any course that has a ton of water on it, is sort of mimicking what we're going to see in terms of being able to capably drive the ball this week. And I think that's where the crossover comes in as much as, hey, if you can avoid the landmines at those courses, you're probably capable of avoiding the landmines at this course as well. The Augusta thing, I think it's good players. Like, are you a good player? Yes, then you're probably going to play well in a true test of golf, Tim. I think that's where it comes from. It's not like, this is one of the flattest courses that the players are going to see like over a 5-year period, where Augusta National is literally the opposite of that.
Who is the only player
Tim,
involved in that like Augusta to Liverpool comp who we don't consider like a truly all-time great player? Is it like Angel Cabrera? And I don't even know how people debate him. Like, all those players are all-time, beyond Tiger and Rory. It's like Scott and Sergio and Hideki. Like, they're all just, maybe not Hideki, but yeah, they're all just great players who are all like very close to number 1 in the world at one point or that point in their career. So I don't take nothing from the Augusta crossover.
Yeah, and even like Dustin was second to Rory after 36 holes in 2014, and then he kind of blew up a little bit coming down the stretch in the final round, so you don't see his name on the leaderboard. But Tim, as we know, Dustin's been very good at Augusta too. He's a champion, I heard.
I mean, he is a champion at Augusta. He's a champion of the U.S. Open. He's a champion of the Masters. He's a great player.
Not a live champion.
He has won a live tournament.
Has he won a tournament?
Pretty
Last
sure
year he won like 4 of them, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't Taylor Gooch beat his record this year or something?
I think that's right.
Interesting. All right. Well, we need to know
Taylor
your
Gooch is breaking all DJ's live records.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's hear the picks.
Okay. So, as usual, I make 3 picks from most confident or least confident to most confident. Initially, I had gone into this week thinking it's an international event. I should take somebody from all 3 tours. And that was sort of an approach I was going to take.
Is that hold on? Is that why you were asking us who Sebastian Soderberg was?
It's one of the reasons I was asking that question. I was trying to figure out if there was a Euro I should take from the European tour. It's like, it's an event. It's in Europe. Should I take a Euro guy? I was leaning towards Yannick Paul. He's going to go to the Ryder Cup. He's a good player.
No, Bobby Mack knocked him off the points list.
He's still in 3rd, so he's still there. As of this morning, when I went on the Ryder Cup's website, he was still 3rd in Euro points. So
I believe those have not updated as of yet.
Okay. Well, either which way, he's not going to go from 3rd to 9th, and the top 8 get in on points.
No. The top 8 do not get on points. There's world points, and then there's Euro points, and I believe it's the top 4 from the Euro points list, because Rory would have put himself firmly on that now as well.
I'm wasting time because I'm not going to go with Yannick Paul.
I think it's top 6 from world points, and I actually am wrong. I think Bobby Mack jumped into world points this week.
All right. I mean, Yannick Paul's going to have to do something here to get himself onto the team, because if he keeps having middling results, it's not going to happen for him.
And other Europeans are winning.
He's like T8 at the UK Masters the other day, so it's fine. I am going to go with Taylor Gooch in my 3rd spot. He's one of the hottest golfers in the world right now. People say, well, he doesn't play great at major championships. Well, first he was denied the opportunity to play at the U.S. Open unjustly.
So that's good experience for him, not playing.
Well, I mean if he had played that pitch and putt that was the U.S. Open, I think he would have been right there and competitive.
Are you going to use that U.S. Open on Gooch's career CV?
No.
Is this
the one Phil missed?
Yeah, the one that Phil missed that he quote clearly would have won according to you. So he's technically the great. He technically has
they're similar U.S. Opens in that they weren't really U.S. Opens, but anyway, Gooch is playing great golf. He's hot. I think he has something to prove. If he finishes top 5, I think he's a lock for the Ryder Cup. If he wins, he's 100% a lock for the Ryder Cup. So. Zach Johnson has already admitted he absolutely live guys can play. It's fine. So that's sort of pre-shadowing. He's going to pick live guys, or at least they're on his radar to pick. So this is a great show me opportunity. This is Gooch's big opportunity. You finish top 5, you're definitely going to Rome, and number 1, you might get there close on points if you win the British Open. So I'm for him this week in the 3rd spot.
Geoff, if Gooch comes T5, do you think he's a lock for the Ryder Cup team?
I don't want to sidetrack this, but I will bet Tim anything he wants. And I'll get on Taylor Gooch's Ryder Cup.
So he has to win this week. So his only path to Ryder Cup, you believe, is he wins this week.
I do.
If he wins this week, he goes.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure, if he wins this week, he goes. Sure.
Okay, so you finish his 2nd. No, sorry, we'll leave you behind for some golfer like Justin Thomas who literally can't swing the golf club these days.
I mean,
let's take JT.
Justin Thomas. There's basically zero chance that Justin Thomas isn't on this team unless he's hurt.
Okay. Anyway, I don't want to get this sidetracked either. This is a great prove-it opportunity. I think if Gooch plays excellently, I think he puts another real strong case forward for why he should go over some of these guys who are middling. If you want to win, and maybe they don't want to win the Ryder Cup.
What if he misses the cut? Is his entire season invalid then? He's just winning jabroni events?
No, it's not invalid, but it's definitely a real strong piece of evidence that people can use and should use against his candidacy. I think that's a perfectly fair case to say that he didn't show up at the British Open, and here's why. So, I mean, there's a lot on the line here, and I expect him to rise to the challenge and play well. So, he's my 3rd pick.
Pick number 2.
Pick number 2 is, and I think this will have to be my one and done because my winner, I believe, I've already taken. Pick number 2 is Brooks Koepka. I think Brooks is playing great. Brooks is fantastic, obviously, at Augusta National. He's a good golfer. I mean, he's a Florida guy. So you mentioned earlier, Florida courses are a good comp for Liverpool. Well, he's a Florida guy. This is a great spot for him. And I look at his odds and I see that there's a significant gap between, for example, him, who won the PGA Championship and nearly won the Masters. There's a huge gap between him and, let's say, Scheffler. Should there be between 700 and is Scheffler 3 times more likely to win this tournament than Brooks? Because that's essentially what the odds are saying. And I'm here to tell you that is madness. That is an indefensible position. So Brooks is great value at 20-1, given the way the odds board stacks ahead of him. So I'm taking Brooks. Now, like I said, I think he has to be my one and done.
Well, I agree with you that Brooks is undervalued at DraftKings Sportsbook right now, mainly because Rory and Scheffler are both 7-1. Then you have Rahm and Cam Smith in the middle, and then Brooks is the same number as Victor. That's ludicrous. I agree with you on that. And Brooks should probably be the third favorite or the same as Rahm in this tournament. I get why Rory is now the betting favorite. I mean, I wouldn't have him as a betting favorite. I would have Scheffler as the betting favorite, but your point of is Scheffler 3 times as likely to win as Brooks Koepka? No, I don't think that is true. So if we were just using these odds and you were making your bet off DraftKings Sportsbook, I would be inclined to agree with you of where the better value bet is going to be. But when you kind of search around a little bit, like this is a really good number on Brooks. I don't think you're going to see this number almost anywhere else. So
I don't even have a devil's advocate case to make here. Brooks should not be tied with Victor, who I so badly want to win. And you could even, I mean, the Cam Smith thing is debatable, but Brooks shouldn't have a 2 in front of his name. Now, if I run to like make a bet on Brooks, no, but I was pretty surprised to see you could still get him at 20-1, and that should be a pretty popular bet. And when he wins, it's just going to feel like this is such an easy game and I'm a freaking idiot, and Tim will get a victory lap it.
And who knows, if he hadn't been teamed with JB Holmes, he had every chance to win at Portrush too.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of majors he had good chances to win at that he didn't, and he still has found a way to win 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm just saying, he's won 5 of them, but he's only won 2 of them, right? Like he hasn't won the Open or the Masters. He's only won at 2 events. So like some people, it's like in tennis, right? Some guys are Grand Slam specialists and are great at certain types of tracks and not others. It's just the way it is. And Brooks is setting up more like that type of person, perhaps, where he's dominant at certain types of tracks. But he has actually acquitted himself okay in the United Kingdom. I think this is an excellent opportunity for him.
It's the old talking point that we made right away, and especially when he won his first major. Oh, he can win majors? Well, he should be great at the Open. He played a couple years on Challenge and European Tour golf. I mean, that was so long ago now, and there's probably so many other players that have just as more reps than him there. But the way, like, if it's a man course and it's belonged to Rory and Tiger, like Brooks would check every box by him strategically not hitting landmines and hitting enough 20-footers to be the swag walk it up 18 Sunday.
The only issue I would have, you kind of alluded to it, if he hadn't played with JB Holmes, he could have won at Portrush. If he hadn't played behind Patrick Cantlay and Sam Bennett, he could have won at Augusta this year. Feel like we give Brooks some excuses that other people just have to deal with on a week-to-week basis.
Well, he wins so much that, I mean, I could see why his super fans can make those reasons, but then there was also Harding Park where he just took a shot at Morikawa and other guys like major resumes, and then he shot the bed all weekend, did he not?
Yeah, he had like a 2-year run of shit in the bed at majors, when he would get himself into contention. And it's weird, the excuses that we build for a lot of people. Even though Rory's not my favorite player, I find myself being somewhat of a Rory apologist a lot of the time, mainly because I think that he's unfairly maligned for constantly being in contention, where Jon Rahm never has to deal with that because he's out of contention a lot of the time. He's like a 50-50 guy. Either he's in it and he's going to win, or he's just completely out of the tournament, where Rory's just kind of there every single week. So you just notice his name on the leaderboard, and then you notice him not winning. Whereas Brooks, we just assume he's in contention in a major. Oh, he's probably going to win because he's won 5 of them at this point. But then there's weird excuses of why he didn't win, rather than he just didn't play all that great.
Gary Woodland hit every chip. He couldn't, I don't know. I feel silly, even making an attempt to poke holes at Brooks when he's won 5 majors. And like you said, it's the same thing with Rory. I'm just so impressed of his ability to be there, and his strokes under par, resume in this era at these major championships, or his average round scores are ungodly. And I haven't really talked myself into a bet on Brooks this week, but that 20-1 for how unfair these numbers pretty much are, that kind of seems fair.
I would agree. I think that's a good pick, Tim.
Thank you. And my winner is Hideki Matsuyama.
Woo!
Hideki hits my both of my checks. Fantastic at Sawgrass. He was top 5 this year at Sawgrass. In my opinion, he won in 2020 at Sawgrass. He won the Masters tournament in 2021. He is exactly the type of player, I think, who is going to hit fairways and play smart golf in an international event. This is the biggest Open for people outside of the United States. He's playing. He played well at Travelers, which is what I needed to see. That he actually played decently after the last major, and he did. So I'm here for it. I think Hideki is picture perfect for this tournament, and I'm picking him to win.
Do you?
I've seen 100 to 1.
He is 100
I've
to
seen
1.
80 on DK, but 80 on DK right now. But I'm sure you can find him deeper elsewhere. Great, whatever, man. Those odds are not fair or reflective of the golfer that he is.
I think they are fair. And the 100 to 1 is probably where he should be in this tournament right now. He's not playing good golf. He's playing okay golf.
Hold on, that's not fair. I mean, I'm not here to stand for a Hideki win, but how is he not, outside of his miscut at the Rocket Mortgage, he's pretty much hasn't not top 30'd between the Players and the Travelers.
All right, and how many top 10s are in there? Tell me, please.
Okay, can he win the? Hold on. Can he win the golf tournament and he's not playing good golf? Sure. I think are two very different things. But yes, this is an outright betting show.
I didn't say that he was playing badly. I said he's playing okay, and he is playing okay. Like at the majors this year, a 16th, a 29th, and a 32nd. Like the one case that I would poke in this, if you listen to the research show and when Bamford was talking about the trend lines of the players coming in, he doesn't meet any of the criteria of the trends.
Correct, but then neither did Morikawa.
Morikawa did meet all. The only one that he didn't meet was he hadn't played in the Open before.
Correct.
That was it. But he had a win earlier that year. He had at least 3 top 10s in his past 5 starts. Everything like that. It's just, we all were just like, oh, fuck, he's not going to win. You need so much experience to play at the Open. And the funny thing is, in Open Championships, when you take a look at it, Hideki's best performance ever is a T6. And I believe that's when he was an amateur in 2013.
Wow.
That's great, but you know what? Like, if this is a Sawgrass Masters comp course, I'm giving you the guy who's fantastic at those 2 courses, and you're giving me nearly 100 to 1. I feel like that's taking candy from a baby. Geoff, we learned last week, he's a value bettor. He's a value hunter. He's all about the value. And so I would imagine he'd be all over Hideki Matsuyama at triple digits, given that Hideki seems like a perfect constructed player for Hoylake.
I love how you will get if Hideki wins. I mean, the like third cherry on the banana boat sundae would be how you could finally tie in that Sawgrass win to this win.
You better believe it. You better believe it. And like he did finish 5th this year at Sawgrass. So
yeah, but you're going to tell me that Hatton has no chance, and he finished 2nd at Sawgrass.
I'm not sure that he has no chance. Just he wasn't where I'm going to go here. Hatton's good, I think, at hard golf courses. I don't anticipate this to be a very different from what we've seen in the past. I mean, yes, it's going to be really rainy, it looks like, on the weekend, but it doesn't look super windy. So I just don't think this sets up to be a hard golf course. I think this is going to be closer to a minus 14 or 15 winner.
And where did you recently mention Hideki? Like, why did I feel like you were on him? When did we speak?
He said it. He said it in our group chat.
Yeah, I gave you the heads up in the group chat that I was going to take Hideki in this thing. So
I didn't
have to come in here and listen to you scream at me that you take
Hideki.
I
didn't. And I mean, I'm shocked. When you gave Brooks as your silver, I thought you might be going like closer. I thought I was expecting a Cam Smith. Potentially.
No, inaccurate
that would have
driver.
Been my guess. I think
that's the other thing I got from the research show. If you're not an accurate driver, you're basically written off from this tournament.
But
it's not an accurate driver.
But he doesn't have to be deep. He doesn't have to throttle it. He can like spot play it like Sawgrass. Sawgrass champion, Tim.
Yeah,
he plays well at Augusta. But it's that inaccuracy off the tee that I think invalidates him.
I would agree. And listen, I don't want to say Cam Smith doesn't have a chance. He most definitely has a chance because once you get off the tee, is the case that I've been making for him at all the other majors. He's probably the best player in the world. But Geoff is right. You can throttle back and increase your accuracy because you don't need to be deep.
Throttle down,
yeah. I mean, I could say throttle back because it means the same fucking thing, Geoff.
Oh, sorry. I'm an idiot. You're... Sorry.
I would say that if we are going to use Sawgrass, which I'm not entirely comfortable just pointing to, Sawgrass this place, I'm not comfortable doing that like Tim is, that he has the jankiest Sawgrass win ever. That
Yeah, it was like finished on a Wednesday afternoon or something.
yeah, and like it's not, and it's not like he drove the ball well that week. He just made every fucking putt there was.
Hey, outdueled Lahiri and Casey, I feel.
Yeah, and did
I get it.
Did he even really outduel Casey? Casey's ball rolled into a plug in the middle of the fairway, and his tournament was fucked.
Yeah, and that's another good reason, perhaps, as to why I don't have Cam Smith on my. I mean, look, Cam Smith's every bit as good as any of the guys on the top of the board, top to bottom. It's just I feel like this is not the right course for Cameron Smith. That's my view.
Yeah, and watch him scramble his pants off, and he'll win by 5 strokes.
Great,
or something.
I'd be delighted to. I'd be delighted to see him win. I'm a fan of Cam Smith.
The winning score.
So Cam sent he sent my family to Disney. With the win last year, it was a big bet. I don't know that. And as we often talk when we play this game, you almost find reasons to not bet a guy. And yeah, I mean the landmine does kind of scare me, so I don't see myself betting him, but wouldn't be shocked one bit at all. I would say Hideki's DraftKings price though, Pat, like to odds, seems to be like the biggest mismatch of all the guys like above 8,500. I mean, I don't know, we're not talking DK, but
well, you're just a DFS loser, so I would always expect you to bring it back to DraftKings.
I wish I could be.
Jeff has 2 things in life. He hunts value and he loves DFS. That alone is how Jeff makes his living.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
I would agree.
hate your gold pick. I don't hate it.
He is priced. Listen, as much I mean, the fact that he's a higher price point than Wyndham Clark this week is actually kind of stunning.
There's a few guys you could be stunned. He's higher than this week, but yeah, I mean, I don't see him being very popular, but I don't even see him winning, but I don't hate this pick.
No, I and like when you look at his driving recently, like his driving is kind of all over the place. He's very rarely gaining a lot of strokes off the tee. However, his accuracy is greatly improved from what it was like as we think historically about Hideki. We thought of him more in that like Keegan Bradley type mold where he was one of the longest, straightest players. He's really not necessarily lost a lot of distance, but where if guys have really made incremental increases in their distance, he just really hasn't, so he's fallen behind. But as Tim stated, like that's not that big of an issue here if you're hitting fairways. Tim?
Yeah.
Do you want to win $2,000?
Yes.
All right. So you said you download, but you don't listen. I mean, you're already half.
That's correct.
You're most of the way there to entering the draw. Now you can find all of the criteria to get the $2,000 giveaway. I'm giving $2,000 to one of you out there on next Monday's show with Jeff when we will do the draw. But if you subscribe, which Tim has already done, download, which Tim has already done, but you need to rate and review that show on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or both. That's 15 ballots apiece in the draw. So please go do that for the audio version of the Pat Mayo Experience right now. That'll get you all them ballots. You sub to the newsletter, that is 10 ballots. You sub to this YouTube channel, that's 3 ballots. And every time you share this show around, this show, the research show, tomorrow's Best Bet show with Rob and Cam, the live show that I'm doing with Tambo on Wednesday to finalize everything, that is 1 ballot per share. So get on your retweet button and boom, start pumping up those numbers. All right? If you want to win $2,000, which I believe that you do. See, Tim, I before it'd be like, oh, I'll give $300 and $200. It didn't seem like people really wanted to do that. I feel like most people will be in on trying to win $2,000, right?
I agree with that. I agree completely. That's worth people's time.
Jeff, is it worth your time? Probably not, right?
Well, I mean, I do all the things anyway. I subscribe, I support in any way I can. I'm pretty sure I'd be disqualified from being able to win.
No,
so.
not true.
Yeah, there's no way. If my name was drawn, there's no way. There's no way.
Oh, G. Fienberg 17.
Like,
Yay! Congratulations,
hey,
Jeff.
they did not make Mr. Burns give back that Astro wagon.
No, but people did throw their pretzels at him.
Well, they were whitey whackers. Poor Whitey Ford, taken down by the pretzels. Did you watch the end of the Scottish Open, Tim? Because I imagine you didn't.
No,
because
how could I? It wasn't on television.
You could watch it later.
Like this is like if they're gonna like completely blow up the PGA Tour and merge with Live and all this stuff, that this needs to be issue number one. I don't know if they can do it until they renegotiate the rights fees. One of the problems that I was having, and Jeff, I know that you fell into the same trap, is I just assumed this was an NBC event, and it wasn't. And that fucked me up for like 3 hours, not being able to find it.
Totally. And I don't know when that switch must have happened. And even hearing like the tape delay clips or the clips that PGA Tour would put on their Twitter feed, like hearing Jim Nantz call the Scottish Open, like I don't remember that ever. But I obviously was probably skis bought it and missed it last year.
There's probably a friends clause in that he has not talked to his friends in Scotland in a long time, so we had to go over there.
Well, I think this might be the tournament that they switch back and forth between that and the Phoenix Open, depending on who has to cover Phoenix. Oh. Maybe Scotland is the other, right? Because last year, NBC had the Super Bowl in 2022. And so CBS would have had the players, or would have had Phoenix, and NBC would have had Scotland. So it would make sense this year that CBS would have had Phoenix, or sorry, NBC had Phoenix, CBS had Scotland or whatever.
I would just assume whoever is doing the Open would like be piggybacking. Like it's the time of year where you're watching golf on network TV in America at like 10 a.m. And we're going to get you in that mode this week, and then we carry it over next week.
Let's all make fun of Liv for not putting the playoff on TV, but like it's fine if CBS doesn't show the third and fourth round live. Liv is the worst place on earth for not showing the playoffs. Let's all laugh at them. But God forbid they show what the Scottish Open, which is now a tour event, Friday or Saturday.
It's disgusting. All the CW jokes go out the window. You can't make them.
I mean, the CW. At least hold on. The CW jokes remain. Tim is making it seem like no one cares that they're not broadcasting this live. Like people aren't giving the PGA shit for this. That is exactly what we're doing.
Okay, sorry. The CW jokes are allowed because like you can quantify the reach, but in terms of like the easily accessible ability to watch, like it's just there. I don't. It was such a clusterfuck. Yeah, but as I tweeted, I smiled, Pat, at the thought. I hope Monahan has a cousin, somebody, a nephew, like somebody who just like texted him, "Hey, Uncle Jay, what channel's the golf on?"
You realize that's not him, right? Like he can't do anything about that.
He was the commissioner.
When the deals made the deals when the deals were signed, and when were the last deals signed for CBS and NBC?
But I'm saying he was the commissioner who oversaw the framework of these deals that allow them not to pivot on live coverage. Him, that's why. So, and he now is the commissioner who's welcome back. But he's now the commissioner who is on top of everything that's happened this summer. Gets to be responsible for Rory and Ricky winning not on TV live.
If only there was a dedicated channel to golf where they could show.
Yeah, but NBC owns that.
Well, again, that's part of all the contract negotiation you make with them.
Well, you know what?
Negotiation is
what CBS probably. You know what CBS probably said? Fuck that. We're not giving it to NBC. So it's now CBS is out. Great, good contract.
CBS, I don't know who owns the fucking thing, but they probably own like 75 freaking alternate cable channels.
Well,
like, just say,
right?
Go there.
They can put March Madness on True TV and on TNT, and exactly find somewhere on television to put it.
NBC puts hockey on like the Weather Channel in the playoffs or something stupid.
But like, no, you have to go to CBS All Access to find the Scottish Open.
In the contract, you have to find it a place. You have to find it a place.
I agree, Jeff.
I don't mind. I actually think it's a savvy move if they were to put it into the right spots. But for us, like I think on the CBS Sports app or potentially Paramount Plus in America, you could stream it live, like on your TV, not a problem. That wasn't an option for us. I had to go, like there was no app that would actually show it. Like just put it on Paramount Plus Canada. I'm good to go. I have Paramount Plus. Boom.
And listen,
I'm watching like 18 Yellowstone type shows that aren't good. So just throw some golf on there too. It actually seems like a great selling point. Like if you want people to sign up for your stupid app, put it on the fucking app. It's the
Is this
same basic
Speaking of
logic.
apps, is this a
It's
good app this week?
No, usually not. The Masters one is the only good one.
Okay, I'm downloading the Open app. I don't know.
And I'm not even complaining. I'm complaining for the people, and maybe I like to complain sometimes.
You do like,
but
to complain.
I have a Sky Sports. I have a Fire Stick that's like fully loaded. I have a Sky Sports feed now. Is it like probably 180 seconds behind? Probably, but at least I could sit there, turn the phone over, and just enjoy it when it comes down to like only 2 guys left can win, and I don't need to track everything. But I don't know. It's just I enjoy, in some ways, I feel like it's perfect that it was Rory and Ricky who won these events.
Because maybe that will help us change this.
No,
yeah, in
no
the
lessons,
same way,
no
like
lessons will be learned.
in the same way, I feel like rules in sports are more likely to change when it's like the Yankees who get screwed or the Lakers who get screwed. Like, do you know what I mean? And not say Ricky Rory got screwed, but yeah, like if this was like a Seb Straka tape delay, no one gives a shit.
The ultimate test would be that if Tiger was still playing, I feel like they would put that on.
He'd have his own app. He'd have his own, like, they would have monetized it in a way where like it's truly Tiger tracker but video, like at all times.
Yeah, I can see that. So, Tim, you didn't watch the end of the Scottish? It was fantastic. Just that the final like back 9. I mean, Hatton started melting down, but that's par for the course. Tommy couldn't make a move the entire day. But the moment, and this is what Rory needs. Rory needs a bigger fan favorite than himself to have the tournament locked up, Geoff. And only then can he conjure up being clutch and making all those putts, because everyone wanted Bobby Mack to win after he made the amazing shot on the 72nd hole. And here comes Rory just to fuck him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it would have been a fun year to some great national opens. It was incredible. The sequence of events, you mentioned the back 9, like truly incredible. The last hour sequence of events was just remarkable in and of itself. Just Rory hitting the 45-footer, missing the 7-footer, Bobby Mack subsequently from the rough, hitting it to 4 feet to take the lead. And Rory goes like blackout on 17 to 4 feet. And then what happens, much like Bobby Mack, like 25-mile-an-hour wind in your face. And that 2-iron shot I watched that 2-iron shot on the Twitter feeds from that, from behind him, watching that ball flight, like probably, I don't know how many views that video has. I'm at least 193 of them.
Do you think that shot was better or Steph Curry's hole-in-one?
And I get why yesterday at like NBC is showing that on network TV. That's got appeal.
And they also,
my dad didn't really understand what he was watching.
That's fair, but they also didn't have the broadcasting rights to the Scottish Open, so they weren't allowed to play that.
Yeah, no,
they need like the NFL style flex. They need NFL style flex.
I mean, like,
where CBS can take an NFC game like that, and Fox can take an AFC game like that. Even though that's not a part of the schedule, CBS and Fox and NBC should be able to swap rounds like that, and then you just pay them. You get it back on the other end.
Yeah, but
that's silly.
Hold on. Ideally, yes, you are right, Tim. But the logistics of that make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not the same. And also, sorry, I meant to say that NBC was showing that on network TV, while CBS, like, obviously wasn't going to put the Barbasol in it. I mean, they never planned to. But I'm saying, like, people, like the execs obviously felt, oh, that's eyeballs. Like, people see Lake Tahoe and they see celebrity names that they recognize, especially a guy like Steph. Like, that's network TV worthy.
Yeah, when
there's some great content from that with McAfee and some fun stuff.
McAfee, that's how you're pronouncing it?
McAfee? Sorry.
There you go. McAfee. It's cold right now. Sucks. Either way, Tim.
Fuck, dad joke. Like, wasn't that good?
That's pretty good.
I mean, I'm an idiot, but the joke wasn't amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
See, having a friend like Tim comes in the clutch, Geoff. because if you can tell like a 4 out of 10 joke and get big laughs like that, it really builds up your confidence. Well, how do you think I have the ability to sit here and give out terrible opinions in front of a camera?
You just bring, that's the gimmick. You bring someone on who's like way worse, so you don't even take the heat.
Not even that.
He's a big game hunter.
He's a big game
No,
hunter.
exactly. You see Garth host Wayne's World once, and you realize why it is that Wayne has Garth on the show. Garth couldn't possibly take over the hosting duties.
And he's like a hype man. He's like, CUST is like Andy Richter. Put it that way.
Sure.
Can I go back to the tournament for a second?
No,
and just something
absolutely not, because I want to make my point about the CBS NFL thing before we move on.
Yeah.
Before your Caffey ends up having an issue here. But in the NFL, if CBS takes in a Fox game, that's known ahead of time, like that week, so they can send their camera people, their broadcasting crew over there. That just is impossible for golf events, because that's why, generally speaking, they either have like the tour of events that are close to each other, unless they're in a major city where they have all that equipment in the first place, where they can send their crew to those places. The logistics of doing that in Scotland would be almost impossible.
That's a fair point.
And let's not forget, as Tim would probably appreciate this next point, although it doesn't excuse CBS for not finding another cable entity to drop the coverage on, CBS Sunday Morning is their holy grail, right? Like, isn't that like a holy grail show for them? Like, people would imagine if they took CBS Sunday Morning off for people to like watch Rory McIlroy. Like, my mother-in-law would be,
I ever remember
my mother-in-law
them
would be
doing that.
going ape shit, I feel.
The only
so
time I can ever remember it, Jeff, was the year that Tiger won the Masters, and they had to go super early in the day. In 2019.
That's the Masters. That's
the only time I can think of it.
grail.
And
no,
Tiger.
NFL football.
And Tiger.
That's the only
was there.
time. Yeah. No, fair enough. They would have done it regardless of who was there, but that's the only time I can remember.
Yeah, but
CBS taking Face the Nation off for sports.
Like, it's not so much putting it on CBS Live, if that wasn't an option to replace it. It's giving that to Golf Channel. And they do work in conjunction with each other, because...
I was going to say, I've seen CBS and Golf Channel work together.
And well, a part of the rights deal is that Golf Channel gets the early round coverage when CBS doesn't want to air golf for 7 hours straight.
I don't think the ratings would change one bit on the tape delayed CBS coverage if they put it live on Golf Channel. I do not think the ratings would change at all, or like a very minor amount, in my opinion.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Like, the
If
people who are going to
CBS
watch tape delay golf are going to watch tape delay golf. They're not.
If CBS,
well, if that's the case, then they're never going to fucking change it.
No, my point being is, if CBS gave Golf Channel the rights to do it in the morning, I don't think that CBS showing it later in the day, I don't think it would have hurt it. It would hurt their ratings.
No, I agree, but I don't think they want to give those ratings to Golf Channel.
I agree. So then there's got to be like some give back on some prearranged, like, you're right. I don't know. Commissioner should be able to figure it out. Sign deals that don't make you feel like a Magic Johnson fan in whatever, before the NBA was on live in the 80s. 2020 fuck.
It's 2020 fuck. Tim, who can't win this tournament?
Well, first and foremost, I am exhausted about hearing people go on about how Matthew Southgate is so great and he's going to compete, he could win, et cetera, et cetera. That's foolishness. Don't put him on your DraftKings team. He's not going to win this tournament.
Who is it?
Nobody.
Name me one person who said Matthew Southgate is going to win.
I listened to the shows this week.
You listened to my show this week.
And all you guys were speaking melodiously about Matthew Southgate. What a great play he is. He's nothing. He's not going to make that cut. Get Matthew Southgate.
Okay, you saying he's not going to make the cut and you saying he has no chance to win are two completely different things. The dude is
glowingly
because he's $5,800 on DraftKings. That's a real savings if you want to play Rory and Brooks together.
Yeah, now you're conflating two arguments and you're not being fair. You're not being fair.
So give me your $5,000 player that you would play in place of Matthew Southgate, Tim.
I don't know. I wouldn't play a $5,000 player. I wouldn't get myself in that circumstance. Well, I heard you guys talking about playing Rory and Scheffler together. That's madness. I wouldn't play both of them. I'd pick one of the two that I liked, and I would go with them. I think it's highly unlikely that the both of them are going to be in contention in this major after they were just in contention at Scotland. Like the odds are just, it just doesn't seem like it's a likely circumstance. It can happen. I think it's unlikely that they'll both be there. So pick one.
They were just both in contention at the U.S. Open as well.
I just said that. I just don't think it's going to happen again.
The Scottish Open, the U.S. Open.
Exactly. I don't think it's going to keep happening. Yeah,
not the Masters.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, so
like pick one. If of the two of them, I suppose I would lean more towards Rory if I had to pick.
Your outright betting fade. Sorry, your outright betting fade of the week is Matthew Southgate?
No, that's just one that's been burning me. That I've been thinking about for the last day or so. It's been really bothering me.
Drop the heat. Drop the heat on the people that you told me yesterday who has no chance to win. Tell them. Tell the people.
What did I say?
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, I don't think Scheffler has much of a chance to win this week. And like I said this on the show with the U.S. Open, that I thought his win at the Masters is looking more and more like the fluke rather than the fact that he can't get it done in any major other than the Masters that one time. So sorry if I don't believe Scotty Scheffler is Tiger Woods 2.0. I know some people do seem to believe this, that he's an unstoppable force. He's a marvelous golfer. I think if you bet him top 5, that's a great bet. To bet him to win, I think, is foolish. I'm not going that way. So I don't like him very much. I really do not like whatsoever Fleetwood or what's his name? Oh my goodness, Goldman Sachs. I can't stand him. Cantley, get him out of here. Cantley is gone this week. He is not winning this tournament. Throw Cantley overboard. Throw Fleetwood overboard. They got no crack at this. It's an easy course, so I'm sure Fleetwood will shoot 61 again or 63 on Sunday, and then complain yet again publicly about how he didn't win or something. But so get those two out of here.
I don't think he's ever complained publicly about.
He did it again. He did it again. Anyway, so yeah, I
want. Hold on. What did he say?
He whined at LACC again on Sunday after not making his last putt on 72.
Dude,
it's like yet again you've learned nothing in 5 years. No gratitude, no gracefulness. Just anyway, just confirmed what I believed.
I've never golfed.
He's also not a winner. He just happens to not have the winning.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But this whole shtick that Tommy,
it's not shtick. It's true. These are objective statements. Instead of being grateful for the fantastic performances that he turns in on Sundays and majors, he just crosses his arms and complains about the shot that the putt that he missed. That's no way to act on TV.
That just sounds like anyone who plays golf.
No, it doesn't. No one else acts like this. No one else does this. It's a weird quirk of his, and I don't support it.
No one else does this. Guys don't come off the course after great rounds and be like, yeah, but Balionis is in the you shot 60. I can't believe I didn't get that back par 5. Shut up. No one else does that.
No one literally does that. No one does that when you shoot that low at a major championship. No one else
does it. Every week someone does it. Every week someone does it.
We're having a different conversation here. I'm talking about shooting the best rounds ever at major championship Sundays and showing no gratitude for it. If you think that's fine,
hold on.
Quarter on 18 to tie him. You fuck.
Yeah,
I'm still mad about it.
You should be. Again, it's just not the right way to. I don't believe it's the right way to.
What gratitude does he have? He's the one who fucking did it.
I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. I'm so proud I played well.
I'm so happy they invited me to play this tournament. Thank you. It doesn't matter what I shoot.
Yet again, this is
I don't understand your argument.
With me.
I don't understand your argument.
This is one of those weird things. This is one of those weird things where there are so many fair, legitimate things that you could probably make fun of, call out Tommy Fleetwood for. This is so not one of them, and it's bothering me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that it bothers you, but it's the truth, and it's annoying to see people shoot 63 in the last round of a U.S. Open now twice in 5 years, and when asked about the performance, immediately go to the missed shot without any sort of
I want you to shoot the best round of golf of your life miss a 6-footer on the last
And lose,
and someone put a microphone
and
in your
lose.
face.
Go on national television.
It's the losing part of it that is the issue here.
He had no chance to win the U.S. Open this year. We made that putt. None. It was never going to hold up. I don't want to hear you stand for bad sportsmanship. I'm not.
It's not bad sportsmanship. You are just
I'm not
talking
interested.
like someone who doesn't
I'm
ever
not
win
interested.
fucking shit.
I'm not interested. I picked Wyndham Clark when you all didn't at the U.S. Open, so I think I know a thing or two about picking.
Oh, so
winners.
what instance is this now? Because he said it to our friend the other day who doesn't care about golf. Jeff, something came up in like day-to-day life. He's like, yeah, well, I picked Wyndham Clark to win the U.S. Open. And they're like,
I mean,
and the guy was like, who?
I mean, I intend to use that for all it's worth. I think people knew, including Jeff at the time, well aware that was going to be a card I was going to play and play and play.
Dude,
Yeah, no,
play.
it was something
all
about
summer.
It was something about booking a dinner reservation or something like that, and he wouldn't do it. He's like, well, I picked Wyndham Clark to win the U.S. Open. It was like, okay.
Tim, is there the potential that if Scotty Scheffler wins this week, that some of the shine of your like win, none of the shine of the Wyndham win, like we can never take that away. But like your big game hunter, like something would have to offset if Scotty wins, like you picking on him. Like what you picking on him is dangerous. So I'll give you credit. Like you deserve.
I picked on him at the U.S. Open, and I picked on him at the U.S. Open, and he did not play well at the end.
I mean, he came second at the U.S. Open, didn't he?
He didn't win. No, Rory did.
Oh, that's right. I mean, the three guys that you picked that had no. I mean, you picked the guy who won, and the three guys that you said had no chance to win, I believe, came second, third, and fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So
and they all had really no chance to win, other than Rory. But Rory doesn't know how to shoot under par in final rounds of majors. We've seen that now a couple times.
But doesn't this? I mean, you think it's? I mean, a lot of people do. We've seen the 17-18 winning scores here. If we don't get the weather, it could be similar.
It's a par 71, by the way, this time, not a par 72.
Yep.
So,
and doesn't that? I mean,
but it's also we've seen such improvements in 10 years. I think that offsets it.
What do you mean? I mean, they've changed the course.
Like golf's have gotten better. The clubs, balls, everything has gotten better. So,
but they've
10 years minus one stroke. I think that's probably a soft.
True.
So
they've
in some ways doesn't what this winning score is projected to be?
It's a Rory score.
It's a Rory score, but it's also an anti-Brooks score.
Well, Brooks won the U.S. Open at minus 17 or whatever at Erin Hills. So Brooks can play it any way you want.
No, I would hope, but he when it gets too easy or it's right, that's when he gets.
Yeah, it's a fair point, and it's a risk. Yeah.
And I would argue not just Brooks. I'm not like there's no shade to put on Brooks. You could argue that the winning score, if it even flirts with 20, works against a lot of golfers.
Well, that's my argument against Hatton. That's my argument against Hatton this week. I just think the course is going to play too easy for Hatton in a major.
Pat's pointed out many times as I've made that case, maybe like this year and every year.
Yeah,
Hatton actually is an incredible easy course scoring.
Yeah,
golfer.
you just remember it. You just remember him winning at Bay Hill that year that it was really tough. So therefore, you think that he's just some sort of master of the very difficult course. But you can go and take a look at some of his wins. Like he won the Alfred Dunhill Links in back-to-back years at like minus 24. Yeah,
it's an easy shit show.
Well,
yeah.
I think the secret guy who's best at hard courses is actually Rahm. Rahm's U.S. Open and his Masters were in hard years. He won at Olympia Fields when it was extremely hard a couple of years ago. Rahm is actually secretly really, really good at hard golf courses for big events.
Secretly good.
Well, just like Rahm's great. Rahm's like one of the, if not the best player in the world, one of the best. But like I actually think just like Rory does best when the courses are little easy, I think Rahm does better.
We talk about this every year at Memorial when it comes to Rahm.
Hard in 3 weeks' time at BMW, I would love Rahm, but not so much this week.
All right. Any final thoughts before we get you out of here and get to the betting board?
Props, hole-in-ones, anything?
There's no hole-in-one prop available. There is an albatross prop available. I'm not gonna take that this time. I'll give one prop that I really like because I just think there's value in it, and it's the nationality of the winner. It's plus 400 for the rest of the world outside of U.S. and Europe, or sort of U.S. Sorry, and it is European. I'm sorry, I thought it was England and USA. Now the value's not there on that then because I thought I would get Rahm, Hovland, etc. as well as Hideki. No, there's no real right now. The nationality prop's not really there.
I will. The one that I cashed out last week, which, I mean, if people didn't cash it out, they won going away with it. But the players under par bet this week is over under 27 players under par. Now it's priced at minus 225, but that's still an amazing bet.
Oh, there is a hole-in-one bet, so it's come up in the last few minutes. It's plus 165 to bet no. Let's go with it. Let's go plus 165. No holes in one at this Open Championship. Michael Block's not in the field, right? So
yeah,
I think we're safe.
I mean, maybe he got a sponsor's invite. The RNA was like, Michael Block, what a hero.
Oh, he was so close to being in this thing automatically. If he made like one more stroke, he would have finished T4 and have been in this thing. But
no, he ended up finishing like T13 or something like that, the PGA, didn't he?
no, T9, I think. You had to be top 10, didn't you, to get invited to next year's PGA?
No, because it's different rules for the PGA pros, I believe.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Let's see. He finished at the PGA Championship.
I want to say ninth.
He finished 15th. T15. He had to be he had to be T15 or better to get the auto exemption as a PGA Pro to get in for the next year.
Enough.
And he made that amazing up and down. Hasn't done really well. Didn't play well in Canada, did he, Jeff?
No.
He was
at the next weekend was at Valspar or whatever.
Yeah, Charles Schwab.
Colonial.
Wait, it's Charles Schwab. When you were walking through the range, I can't remember. Was he the guy who you heard drive the ball and you said you're going to lose a lot of money on that guy? Was that Michael Block?
Tim, I think before like Thursday comes, you should find a 5K price golfer and bet Pat head to head versus Southgate.
Sure. I mean, anybody's got to be better than Matthew Southgate.
Okay,
I would take Matt Fitzpatrick's brother over Southgate.
We can go Alex Fitzpatrick versus Matthew Southgate. That's fine.
Sure, let's do that.
$2,000?
No, that's too much. I'm not wagering that much money.
I'm just giving away that much money.
No. And I assume there's cut sweats coming?
Yes. So, I mean, we'll work on the time. Well, I mean, we have the thumbnail made for it already, so we got to do it at this point. But
I thought I saw the broadcast goes, I think, to 3 p.m. on Friday. So, like, if that's accurate, then...
No, it's going to be later than that, Jeff. There's guys teeing off at almost that time, England. The last group probably tees off 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock England time, which is 1 o'clock our time, so they'd be wrapping up around like 4:30 our time.
I may have read, or maybe I was just looking at the Peacock grid.
Maybe
only because like they have like 18 hours of sunlight right now in Europe, in the United Kingdom.
Either way, this is the best. As much as we rag on the broadcast for the Scottish Open, not putting it on TV, the Open Championship is actually the best TV product golf presents every year.
Baldo's coming out.
Is he?
Yeah, apparently there's a report that he's going into the boot this week.
Good.
Well. Which is good. It's too bad he just couldn't take over from Zinger. I mean, he was replaced by Immelman. Immelman's fantastic, but I'd like to see someone take over from Zinger. Who we'll get this week.
Who would you draft right now? If Faldo's like going to stay retired, but if you could just replace Zinger with anyone right now, don't say anyone because that's probably the answer. Who would you pick to replace him? Would it be Pat McAfee?
I don't know who I would.
Not Colt Knost. Tell you that.
I'd still pick Phil.
You don't like Colt Knost?
No, not really. It doesn't do it for me.
Colts. I'm not there yet, but there is a bit of like.
Honestly, I think I would take Nota Begay. I actually think he's insightful when he's on the course. When he's not like cheerleading for Tiger, he's actually got very interesting and insightful things to say. He'd be a good person in the booth.
The shitty thing is that there is a absolute stone lock answer to this, and it can't ever happen now.
Which is what?
Phil.
Oh, but Phil was never going to do that. Phil makes too much money.
Phil would be awesome.
Phil would be too expensive. Phil would ask for too much money. You think Phil?
Yeah, but he could have done like an elevated schedule, like for lack of a better term, like the majors and some really big events. And Phil loves his own voice.
See Phil now. What does Tony Romo make? I'll take $1 more than that. Please.
Yeah, well that's not feasible. No, well, why would you pay it?
The economics.
Yeah, you're not going to pay Phil to the same money as Tony Romo for a league that makes 1 million times more money than the PGA.
I think saying. Phil loves his own voice so much that I think there is a number that would work for the network that they could pay him, that where all he has to do is like in and out.
I think you need an English voice. I think you need to think of one of the older English golfers, like Poulter or something.
Poulter would be good. I actually think that, I mean, he's your guy, and you've been watching him on the YouTubes. If he wasn't playing so goddamn well, Harrington seems like he'd be really good.
Podrick would be amazing. Podrick is such a smart guy. He'd be a fantastic pick.
I've been watching more Podrick swing videos.
They're addictive, aren't they? They're addictive.
Maybe it is the accent, and I love him. And I've said it before, his dog Wilson, and they got a new puppy. Oh my god, I love it. Podrick on the Open Championship YouTube feed, they did it's like an 8-minute video of Podrick on the new 17th hole playing it for the first time.
I watched that one. I watched that one too. That's where I did my research on the new hole. Was watching Harrington talk about it. But no, he's very insightful. The accent is fantastic. You gotta love an Irish accent, and people seem to like him. And he's a 3-time major champion. And it's not like, listen, I know Immelman won the Masters, but come on, like they're a different class of like historic player when you go into it.
Who knows? Maybe Harrington could be a 4-time major champion. If he keeps playing at this quality, he could stumble into one like Ernie Els did.
Or get the Stuart Sink, Tom Watson year kind of thing. I mean, that is my favorite part about the Open Championship is that you're going to get one or two random Euros who are going to be there for like 2.5 days. Hopefully it's Ewan McPherson. Let's go. Although his odds are like beaten down to nothing now. He's like 200 to 1. He should be like 1,000 to 1. Either way, we'll talk about him here in like 20 minutes. But we're going to get like 2 or 3 old dudes too. And like Harrington is the very logical choice to be that, but it's never really the logical old guy choice that you would think that it's going to be. So like, who like is Darren Clarke? Yeah, Darren Clarke's still playing. How is Darren Clarke not
Clarke's there? Phil is there.
Yeah,
like Phil did finish second at the Masters, and if this is a Masters comp course, then he would be a logical old guy if the Masters is one of them. And Sawgrass, which he's also won.
I still don't qualify. Although he is at that age, it just doesn't feel like Phil is an old guy. Like compared to some of the other
Stenson's
ones.
an old guy.
Yeah, weirdly, Stenson feels older than Phil, although he's not.
Yeah, that's true.
Richard
Tim,
Bland?
I can't believe you didn't tout up Laurie Cantor.
I love that Laurie Cantor's in this tournament. Dick Bland is in this tournament. I expect those guys to acquit themselves well. I like Mito Pereira to do well in this tournament.
How about Richard Bland, top old guy?
Sure, Dick Bland makes all the sense in the world. He got to hit the ceremony. He got to hit the first shot of the Open Championship in Royal St. George's, I believe.
Because he's a member there?
No, just like they give the first shot of a tournament. That's usually a pretty prestigious invitation. For example, I think Darren Clarke got to hit it at Portrush. Like they usually give that first tee time to somebody to sort of give them some honor and respect.
I'll put this out to you right now. How much would you can set a number wager, and I will take the one side if you want the other side. I don't think that I will say that Mito Pereira does not make the cut at the Open Championship, and I assume that you think that he will. How much would you like to put on that?
Hold on a second.
Did you just realize he's not in this tournament?
Somehow he's not in. I just assumed he'd be in this tournament.
He's not.
He's not in this tournament. Yeah. I guess not then. Sorry.
Damn, I just
assumed.
I was waiting for the snap acceptance of that bet.
No, the way you asked, I was like, maybe he didn't qualify for some reason.
He actually didn't even attempt to go to the qualifications, which, I mean, it is teach their own.
Anyway, there's a lot of live guys there. I think many of them will acquit themselves well. They just played over in Europe. Anyway, we'll see.
I mean, the Centurion course looks nothing like this. Just like how the Scottish Open doesn't look anything like this.
No, that's true.
So, anyway, that will do it for you.
All right.
The top odds are going to be coming up in a second. To recap, Hideki, Brooks, and Gooch, 1, 2, 3. Brooks is your one and done. Scheffler, Fleetwood, Cantley, and Southgate have no chance of winning the Open Championship. That was from RealCustPicks.com, the big game hunter himself, Tim Undercust.
Tim Undercust.
And yes, that is his name. Let's talk some betting. Let's talk about betting at DraftKingsSportsbook.com. Or maybe other places if there's better numbers. Who knows? Play in the Listeners League, by the way, on DraftKings. Link is down in the description right now. Over $100,000 of rake-free guaranteed money. And if you want the research and stats that we're pulling, or you want to generate your DraftKings lineups or other lineups, or make head-to-head bets using the simulator and customizing everything any way you want, especially the windy as fuck feature, where you can just sort by the windiest rounds possible. If you think it's going to be super windy, FantasyNational.com/Mayo will get you 20% off. Top of the betting board, as Tim mentioned, Rory and Scottie Scheffler are the co-favorites at the moment, both 7-1. Rahm is coming in at 12-1. And then we have Cam Smith at 18, Hovland and Brooks and Xander Schauffele and Tyrrell Hatton all at 20-1, Jeff. I bet Scottie Scheffler at 10-1 earlier this morning.
I don't blame you. That's a great number. I guess, I drew your attention to that book on the reset, and I guess my eyes were just down the board.
It's not that anymore. It is now 7.5-1 at that same book. But they just hanging a 10. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's crazy. They had some nice numbers on some other players. I didn't see it. Scottie would be. I could make a case against a lot of guys. Scottie, silly enough, would be the case out of the hardest to make against of the guys under 20-1.
Just there's so many.
I don't know that I can construct the card, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, it just I didn't even think about, like, there's two guys that I came into this tournament really wanting to bet, and I don't think I can get to the second guy because I just think his odds are really terrible. But I like Scottie and I like Fowler were the two that I liked. Just based on trends. I mean, Fowler came in second here in 2014. The top 10's a win earlier on in the season. Like, they kind of hit every check mark that I'm looking for, and we kind of like pull back a little bit. I mean, Scheffler hasn't finished outside the top 5 in the past 4 months or 3 months or something like that. And maybe that there is something that goes on with him where he can only win earlier on in the season. All of his wins have been from the Masters and before. Very much like 5-time PGA Tour winner Mark Wilson. So maybe there's something along the lines of that. Maybe he's the new Mark Wilson. Who knows? But just his game has been so close. And I just like him in any condition that we get. Like, we're talking about, if it plays like soggy, like it did when Rory won, Rory has a chance. If it's super low scoring, Rory has a chance. But, if it's going to be -6, Rory doesn't have much of a chance. You know who has a chance, almost like Brooks in any of these possibilities and scenarios? Scottie Scheffler.
I don't have any holes to poke. I mean, you'd almost think like you've walked by the roulette wheel enough, like it's hit black so many times. He's got to just be,
red.
It's got to be red in terms of like just the upper half, not even top 20 in the field, just like not in the bottom 30%, somewhere between the middle and median and before the bottom third would kind of probably have him right where he needs to be in the final few holes of the tournament. Normally for Open Championships, you have to big gulp when you're like laying it pretty hard on a favorite because there's so many variables that exist here that don't really in the week to week, be it the wind, the weather, the draws, all that stuff. But the early indications are, we might not really have an issue. Although I just want draw integrity that can be hard at Open Championship, wave integrity, I should say. But yeah, there's not a hole I can pick. I'm not betting Rory. Although I would say if like Bobby Mack won, I get why the guys with these huge Bobby Mack Open Championship futures would be pissed. Like, I get that. To me, Bobby Mack is finite. When players of this like super or upper crust tier win events, I don't believe they blew their load like I do when it happens in a different tier, if that makes any sense. Which I think it does.
I would tend to agree with you. I'm going to be doing the best bets overall. Our top 3 are gold, silver, and bronze with the world mini putt-putt loser, Rob Pizzola, and Cam Stewart.
Unbelievable.
We'll talk about that more on Tuesday's show.
Yeah, you got to put Cam on a tee. This guy, 0-2 in putt-putt as a favorite?
I mean, looking at him, I'm not shocked that Pizzola's not clutch.
But I can only know from my experience, like double the focus, like quadruple the focus in the practice rounds. Like there's no mucking around. He's at the course before, like he's just taking notes. And then this is like this was like a UFC fighter having to bail on a fight. They fly in a goddamn replacement. Pizzola's seen the track multiple times. Sorry. I don't know what happened. I haven't even spoken to Rob. I'm a little disappointed. As you can tell.
In real time, just being on DK Sportsbook, we got a real-time update of odds. Scheffler and Rory both got slashed again. They're now plus 650. each, and Rom's down
Wow.
to, and Rom's down to 13. Like, I don't want to have to go through. Like, I think if you want to pick between, you don't have to pick between Scotty and Rory. You could bet both if you wanted to and make that your week. You could bet one, make that your week. Bet none of them, which I assume most people are going to do. I mean, I prefer, obviously, I bet Scheffler. I bet him at 10, not plus 650. I probably wouldn't bet him at plus 650, to be perfectly honest with you. That's, almost half of what I got. So there's a value. I mean, I'm a value hunter like you, Jeff. That, taking a guy at half of what I bet him at is probably not something that I want to do. But Rom up to 13. Cam Smith's holding steady at 16. Brooks holding steady at 20-1. Cantlay has now just moved back up to 22-1. I saw him as low as like 30 or 35 yesterday.
So full disclosure, I bet Patrick Cantlay last night at 35-1, the same place you bet Scotty at 10. And I kind of feel like an idiot because my eyes went down the board.
He's 28-1.
But I like the bet.
Yeah.
I think he's a nice fit. It for all like the shitty Cantlay odds are like, well, maybe he should be farther up the board. Well, now he is. It felt right. I don't know if it felt right, but I did it. I deposited and I did it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say on that. I get that he doesn't perform in majors, but I'm silly enough to have the confidence that if he's actually contending, like, he'll be very comfortable in the position he's in because he's been around there enough in other big events. We talk about this a lot. You got to find yourself a way to talk yourself in or talk yourself off of guys, and it's easy with Cantlay. I didn't hear. Yeah. So I talked myself into it, scared.
I was interested in the 35. I think I was at the golf course when you sent it to me, and I was, trying to focus on my game and, being mad when I missed a putt, not being grateful for the opportunity to play golf while I was out there. But so I didn't get it. 35 did have my interest, but now that those numbers are gone, I don't have a ton of interest in that. It felt like, he's usually like 18-1. This is almost double that number. That's somewhat interesting. Like I would have to ponder it for a little bit longer. Do you think that the reason he underperforms in major championships is that his meal prep is out of line and that he should probably go to factormeals.com/Mayo50 in order to get those meal preps sent directly to you? Even when you're on the road, you send it to where you're going, you go and pick it up, and boom, you just have like your instant meals ready to go, and all of a sudden you don't have to worry about that. I assume that Patrick Cantlay is just all around all the time, just being like, I don't know where to eat. Instead of like prepping, he's spending 3 hours on some app trying to figure out what to order. I'm sure you've done that with your wife, where you're like, hey, let's order something, and then you spend an hour trying to pick a place. You don't need to do that with factormeals.com. You get 50% off your first box at factormeals.com/Mayo50 and use code Mayo50. But is that a thing that happens to you where you spend it's almost like trying to pick out a Netflix show when you don't know what you want to watch, where you just spend more time on the home screen than actually watching anything?
Dude, there's nothing more exhausting. And like everyone out there, I'm sure, the dinner game is the worst. What would you like? What would you like? Well, name a place. Well, you name a place. And I just throw it like a couple, and then you dance around it. Like, I'm not putting the place I really want first. I'm just throwing it in a plot of 4 places. Maybe she'll pick the one. I don't know. But I hate the dinner game. Even when you're hanging out with buddies, watching football. I hate the lunch game. I mean, I like eating, but I hate that game of what are we eating?
We decided, because we usually have people over on Sundays at the office to watch the game. So Mayo Media foots the bill. It's research for the live show that goes on Sunday evening. So I just order from the same place every single week and order just a bunch of stuff off that menu. It shows up at halftime of the first games, and boom, we go to town. No one ever complains because, it's free to them, so it's never going to be a problem. But it's just just give me some deep fried food. We'll be good to go. We don't need to sit there and be do we want burritos? Do we want subs? Do we want
But
burgers?
You've also set it in motion where this is the protocol.
Yes.
And there's no one going oh, maybe I want this. They know we're going to Mayo's. This is what we're having, and they like it. It's the protocol's not you've set the protocol, which allows that to take place. Above and obviously you're hosting, you're paying. There are many factors that I think people are keeping their mouth shut for, but I think it's the consistency of the protocol that keeps everyone happy in that situation.
Yeah, and I'm just ordering fan favorites. I'm getting, if there's 5 of us, order 5 dozen chicken wings, a flatbread pizza, and some fries, and it shows up, and people are content with that.
Pat, there was probably, I don't know the official year we started doing this, but the amount of major championships I bet Ricky between like this 18 and 25 in our first 4 years of doing the show would probably be about 16 majors. I don't know why I cannot bring myself there.
Does it
right
strike
now.
you as odd? This is the same with Tony Finau. And it's probably the opposite for guys that I really like you with Luke List, who I think like you bet Luke List like twice ever and he won once. That I'm somehow up a ton of money on Finau and Fowler in my lifetime, despite the fact that I rarely ever bet them. It's just I happened to be there the week that they did it.
Yeah, that's a funny little side hustle on that. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. He's playing great. Every box checked. I don't want to bet him at 20 and like people have like 50, 80, 100 to 1, maybe even 120 to 1.
See, I don't mind that. I don't mind that as much. Like that doesn't bother me. Like it would bother me out that Rory and Scotty's went back to 7 to 1 apiece. I guess people weren't digging the plus 650. But like if I had Scheffler at 10 and all of a sudden he's 6 to 1, like that's such a massive difference week of. Like I know that these odds were available to me and I missed it. I wasn't thinking about betting Ricky to win the Open Championship 3 months ago when he was 80 to 1. Good on you if you're holding that number. That's a fantastic future bet to have. I can only really assess it in the context of this week. And if I look at like, we can talk about the 20 to 1 range right now then, that you have Hatton, Fowler, Xander, Victor, and Cantlay, all like 22 to 1. My issue right now is that CUST makes a very compelling point with Brooks sitting right there 2 points better. Like, in what world am I betting Fowler and not betting Brooks?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I have my Hovland futures like 29, 30, 31. I got a bunch of tickets because I'm addicted and I bet them at all the majors. So this is a chance to go 0 for 4 and lose a lot of money. But yeah, I agree with that Brooks argument against pretty much all of these guys.
Yeah, and like I would probably take Fowler second in that list, to be perfectly honest with you. Like it just Brooks is so much, like I said, Brooks and Rahm should be around the same number, and Brooks just isn't. And I don't have interest in betting Rahm this week, but if you hung a number that had like was pretty close to a 2 in front of his name, wouldn't you just feel obligated to bet that?
Oh, I'm waiting for it, Pat.
You think it's going to happen?
I don't know if we're going to get it. Maybe someone will get crazy, but yeah, I thought like maybe it can get to 18. Like, I don't know where the action is. He's kind of disappeared since, people like really give him a hard time since the Masters. People thought he should have been playing last week. There were videos of him all over the region, getting work in. But yeah, I'm hoping for a big Rahm drift. I'm silly enough to trust him.
14 to 1 is the top of the market at the moment. But I don't think he's going to command a lot of action in terms of handle. He'll command enough because he's such a big name and people will see even a 14 next to his name and be like, oh shit, it's a big number. I just don't think that the books want to have a liability on the 20 to 1 Rahm because they know that everyone will just be like, holy shit, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know that it would get to 20. That seems probably a little aggressive in how hopeful you could be.
So for me in this, I mean, Cam Smith, we're just both not betting. Rahm and Cam Smith, we're just saying no to, right? At these numbers.
I mean, they're like surviving cuts. There's not red ink through their name, but I don't know that I will be able to do it with them. Cam Smith, you got to find reasons to not bet a guy. They say there's landmines here everywhere. I'm a little scared of that.
So that the full 20 to like 50, you got Brooks, Fowler, Xander, Hovland, Cantlay, Tyrrell Hatton, Tommy Fleetwood. They're all between 20 and 25 to 1. Then it drops down to DJ, Spieth, Morikawa, Lowry. All 4 of them are 35 to 1. Then you have Fitz and Rose, 45 and 50 to 1. This mid-30s range has all of my attention with Dustin, Morikawa, and Spieth. Just those seem like I like. Yeah, good for you, Xander. You're 22 to 1. Maybe you'll win. Ricky, you're 22 to 1. I would feel far more confident that Dustin, Spieth, or Morikawa wins this event than those guys.
There's 30s on Xander, and it still exists, while others have other the big numbers have moved. So I will admit that I'm insane enough to stare at that and lose money on Cantley and Xander.
So your bets for this tournament are going to be Xander, Cantley, and Hovland?
I don't know. Would you rather me say fucking Hatton at 25-1?
No, but I've been saying like Morikawa and DJ are 35. Like, don't you have more?
They're all alive.
Like, don't you have more confidence in those guys than Xander?
It's probably closer to equal than it should, but I like the Morikawas. I've seen the 35s almost all disappear, so I think he's been pretty popular today, and DJ too. The only bet that I came into the week with was a Hovland future. And when I make a bet like 5 months ago, you may as well have told me I lost $300 on a March Madness game. Like, it's gone. I mean, that's a silly way to look at it. I know the methodicals don't, but like in my headspace, like that's just where my head is at on that shit. That doesn't mean like I'm looking to throw money everywhere, because I've been pretty cautious this morning, trying to feel out the market. And most weeks with the Open, maybe see how the weather develops. Also, I like so many of these guys. The 30 on Schauffele, the DJ, the Morikawa, even Matthew Fitzpatrick going a little farther back. So I don't feel like I'm in a rush to bet anyone, it seems.
Okay, well, do you have a preference then?
Kind of gave. I really want to find my way to DJ.
So do I, kind of. But I'll just end up betting.
But and it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I love the fact he probably cares so little. Like, I almost have this thought where Dustin already has this like awesome vacation plan during Ryder Cup week and doesn't even want to be asked to play. He doesn't give a shit.
What if I told you this? What if there was a cool place you could bet on the internet and they had a 40-1 on Dustin Johnson?
Yeah, that's attractive. If the card kind of ends up being what it is and I don't get to the very top, I could just play a small handful of these guys in and around this 30 through 45. And he could easily be one of them. What did he do in Live London? Not that it matters, but like, where are we with him?
Dustin was 5th at Live London. He was 8th the week before that. I believe he was 10th at the US Open. He won on Live before the PGA Championship as well.
Yeah, listen, we might end this recording and I might be like, that Glover money, go toss that on the polar bear for me.
Oh yeah. Too bad fucking Glover. Of course he'd play great for 2 rounds.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to remind me of a debt, but I just like I
shit
can't
all
get
over
there.
Himself. Although
if you'd have told me 22-1 was the playoff and Glover didn't make it, I wouldn't even have believed you.
I know. Shout out to Big Norm though, 2R Norm, getting the win over some guy I've legitimately never heard of in a playoff.
Yeah, credit to Norm. He seemed pretty popular, and hey, that's a pretty, and shout out to I'm certain there is somebody like very much in the orbit of the Texas Tech golf system who bet someone that Norman would win before Aberg and got like 5-1, 8-1
or more.
So good for that guy. They're roommates too.
Were they?
They still are, apparently.
Probably not for long. Norman, he got a win on the Ryder Cup team?
No, but as I joke, my Ryder Cup things change weekly now. So now my 4 are, it's still Moronk, Sepp, Aberg, Bobby Mack. But that changes weekly now,
yeah,
obviously.
I really don't think Sepp's going to make the team. Coley pointed that out when I did the show with him because I was asking him about Ryder Cup, just his unwillingness to go play like any Euro events, especially the Italian Open at any point over the last 3 years, just kind of shows he doesn't care. And he said he'd feel very uncomfortable with a guy from Austria with a southern drawl on the European Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, forget he's a bull. Yeah, you're right. He's more like with that Sea Island crew is more his bag, right? Yeah,
oh, absolutely. So yeah, Dustin and Morik.
I know.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you are right. They do care about that shit. You have to show like even a minor level of commitment to the tour. Yeah, that doesn't go over well. So that's a fair point I hadn't thought of.
So Dustin Morikawa carry most of my interest in this range. I mean, Ricky does, but I'll probably end up talking myself out of Ricky at these odds, especially because I've already bet Scheffler at 10. That kind of handicaps what I can do. Because if I do bet Ricky as well as Scheffler, like that's kind of it for me outside of like the 3 500 to 1 guys that I'm probably going to bet. But I could feasibly do a 35 Morikawa, 40 Dustin Johnson. Like that's not the end of the world. I still make a ton of money if one of my guys wins throughout the course of the week. The only other one, and this is all odds related as well. Like I like Spieth at that number. I have no clue where his game's at considering he's missed 4 of the past 6 cuts, but was 5th at the Travelers. Like I don't really know. With the Travelers, the U.S. Open. Was he 5th at the U.S. Open? That doesn't seem right, does it?
Spieth, I don't believe was 5th at the
He was 5th
Open.
at Memorial is where he was. And then he played the U.S. Open, missed the cut. Then he didn't play again until last week, missed the cut. So I don't know what the hell's up with him. But Justin Rose is actually kind of playing hit or miss golf at the moment. Like he has 3 top 10s in his past 6 starts, but he has 2 missed cuts in that time too, with another 12th place finish mixed in between. I don't know. Is he the old guy that we should be looking at?
Dave Tyndall's 10-year trends piece, which is always a great read. It resulted in Rose and Hovland being tied on his system for the pick. And
wasn't that only
based on
if
what happened at the Scottish?
Yeah.
Rose gets the nod. I know like trends are what they are, but yes, there's a lot of things pointing to Justin Rose being a very cheeky play and top old guy. I mean, he doesn't even, his game at the moment, like it would almost be unfair. Like he's super chalk in that element right now. He could be a pretty popular pick in that around that 50 to 1 here for the win this week.
He could be. And he's not really an old guy. He's only 42 years old, but like he's been around so long. He's like Sergio class old guy. Like I remember I remember Rose being an amateur at like the 99 Open Championship. And just, it's kind of funny to think back now. Like he was like 16 or 17 at the time and actually like made a decent run. It's funny what happens to a lot of those guys. Like remember Chris Wood?
Yeah, but he had a nice career, Chris Wood.
He had a good career. Like Rose is like an all-timer though.
Oh, I'm not even comparing. But yeah, but Rose, he had that great Open and he was pro, and then he apparently had like a horrible year or 2 years. Like he hit rock bottom that early in his career too after that great opening moment.
So those would be the 4. So I'll probably narrow it down to 2 from those unless we start seeing ballooning numbers. Like if Ricky gets up to like 28 or 30, that'll probably be good enough for me on that. But right now I'll probably just have that exclusively to DraftKings where I'm going to be using Ricky Fowler. Go ahead.
Before we like leave this orbit of number, I just need the people to know, unlike Ricky Fowler, who I'm sure had triple digits at Christmas and maybe even more, and whatever. Tommy Fleetwood, I am telling you, since Christmas, I was tracking his number for this event. There is not a person with a Fleetwood ticket like over 34, 35 to 1. There was never, even at Christmas, even in his lows, like the books always had him here marked as something we're like never going to give you. And now he's in great form and he's like 22, 25, which makes it so frustrating. Because I can't, like at the U.S. Open and the PGA, Pat, I have like these extra Fleetwood, like 80 to 1s in my pocket. Can't do anything with this. But I'm just here to say there was never a number. There was never once. I tried to find it all year. I always do. It never existed. The books like want to cut the legs out on Englishmen who never win, especially majors.
50 to 100. Names in this starting at 55 to 1 is Tom Kim at DraftKings Sportsbook, Homa and Finau, Wyndham Clark, Burns, and Bobby Mack, and Cam Young are all 60 to 1. Bryson, Min Woo are 65 to 1. The Gucci Man, Tim's third power ranked pick, is 70 to 1. Patrick Reed is 75 to 1. Then you got Adam Scott, Corey Connors, Justin Thomas, all 80 to 1. Ryan Fox, 90 to 1, and that's everyone below 100 to 1. No one really stood out here for me. I know Adam Scott's going to be a popular play. I think I'd rather pick Corey Connors than Adam Scott, to tell you the God's honest truth. And now I'm just looking at a stupid 80 to 1 on Justin Thomas, and I don't want to bet it. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, I don't want to bet it either. I don't even care.
That's a good number, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who at one time these numbers seem amazing. I mean,
No. The Thomas number seems amazing based on everyone else is kind of where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. The Thomas number, no, there's no debating. The Thomas number is absurd, but yes, my point being is like, I'm even surprised if you told me 2 months ago, like the Homas and the Finau numbers are big, but the Thomas number blows them all out of the water. You do not find your game at major championships. So if you're looking for your game, I will not bet you, and I'll live with the consequences. Okay. Are you Martin Keimer?
Martin Keimer won the Players' Championship earlier that year.
No, I'm saying in general. Okay, fine. So that great win, Martin Keimer.
Yeah, like
he's playing like ass before it, but you're right.
He was playing like ass before. I just told you he won the Players' Championship like the month before.
Agreed. I'm just saying, okay, fine. Horrible example. He had game. You do not find your game before the major. Then there's even no example. There's no example. I'm trying. I'm reaching when I use this Keimer. That's bullshit. So you're essentially saying there's zero example in like in I don't want to refer to modern times as podcasting era, but there's not an example. No one has won a major without their form.
Trying to think, what was Stuart Sink's form when he won the Open Championship? This feels like the one where you could have no form and win.
I will have to agree with that. But every year we would just say that about the Open, right?
Yeah.
Because you could plot your way around it beautifully. But even at the plotter's paradise, there's guys in form that'll plot your face off, like Francesco Molinari.
Yes, and Stuart Sink is like the first example that popped to my mind. His lead-in form was miscut, 27th, 8th, 22nd, 76th, miscut, 62nd, miscut. Win.
Yeah.
That's 14 years ago. I'm sure we're missing a very obvious, like, what was Patrick Reed's lead-in form to the Masters?
Yeah, but there must have been a win. Like he might have been playing bad leading in, but there's always a win. At that time of Reed's career, there was always a win somewhere.
Yeah, he was second, seventh the 2 weeks before, the 2 tournaments before he won the Masters, so he was fine.
And he probably had a win within like 3 months of the Masters.
No, he hadn't won since the Northern Trust in 2016 before that. So it would have been almost 2 years since he had won.
So he was on like a Morikawa fucking trudge without the majors beforehand. Crazy. Okay. Yeah. He was in lead-in form.
So yeah, no, I agree.
But yes, Reed actually didn't match the trends. Like the historical Augusta trends of what you needed to have already done in majors or at Augusta, Reed bucked those. That I certainly remember.
He did, but it wasn't by much that it happened. He comes in really good form right now, too. Like, he's played the majors really well so far this season. He has, 2 top 5s at majors, and I believe he was, he's 56th at the U.S. Open. But he's been 2nd and 5th on Live Tour since. I mean, out of all these guys...
Find me 100 to 1.
Can I find you 100 to 1? Let's see. There's 80. I don't know. I found an 80 to 1 instantly. It's 80 to 1 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Reed 90 to 1 at the Polar Bear.
I don't mind it. I like betting Reed sometimes because if things turn into a shit show, I like having him. Well, and there's shit show potential, right?
Yeah, at the case where I would want him the most because of the extended each ways, he's 70 to 1. So like if I could get him at 100 and then 25 to 1 for a top 10 or 25 to 1 for a top 8 or whatever they're offering, that has real value. Corey Connors is 100 to 1 there. So is Louis.
The comments will make fun of me. I like that Corey Connors 100 to 1. Can he win? Seems like such an enormous ask. If they offer placings off of 100 to 1,
they do.
I think there is always money to be made on Corey Connors.
So
straight as an arrow.
Can we call Corey Connors the banana stand? Because there's always money in him.
Yeah, I like that. And listen, I know you can muck the Valero wins, and that's fair. That doesn't prove anything. That certainly doesn't prove you can win a major. But like windy as shit. Valero, Texas. Not Valero, Valero Open. I think that's in San Antonio. So like there's right, his ability to succeed in the wind and shitty fields. I'm just saying there's money to be made on a starting number that high. And I'm a sucker for the guy. So you all know that.
Yeah. Reed and Connors would be my two looks in this range if that's the route that I want to go. I'm not going to commit to those yet. But that Connors 100 to 1 that I'm looking at with a top 8 paying 20 to 1, pretty enticing.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
So 100 to 1 plus. I went over a lot of these guys on the DraftKings pick show, and now obviously DraftKings is much different than outright betting. And we'll probably talk more about a lot of these guys on the Best Bet show. We're talking about top 30 bets to make the cut bets, top 40 bets on Tuesday's edition of the Pat Mayo Experience, which, you know, if you entered the draw for the $2,000, you're already subscribed to it, so you can download it and listen to it. That's easy. Just open up your phone. It will be there in the morning for you on Tuesday. Well, not right away. We're filming it on Tuesday morning. We'll be out by like lunchtime, probably before that. So I got guys. The best number I've seen on Denny is 125 to 1. Now, he has never played in an Open Championship before, which is kind of terrifying. He's 100 at DraftKings Sportsbook. He's 125 at certain places. Where is he here?
With placings.
At the place with placings, he's 125. 125 at this place. And then McCarthy is 150 to 1, but with no placements. I actually like him here. I really like him here.
I mean, the guy has kind of shown up everywhere. He's been on the front page at Elevated, at Premier, at even the lowest rung. The guy finds his way to the front page.
And I'm not a Denny guy either. It's just this looks good for him.
I mean, like I will joke. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to bet this, and obviously there's no money in like a cash out really, but like you can like that's not really a day trade, but like if you buy Denny on Monday or Tuesday, it will be a shorter price on Saturday. Just he's proven that. I thought you were going to give us Jason Day first.
No, I've kind of got myself off of Jason Day, to tell you the truth. The more I looked into it, like when I was talking through with Bamford and just guys that I liked initially, like, I mean, when I call it the research show, it's not just the research show for you, the viewer, who could win $2,000. It's also the research show for me. Like, I'm trying to talk it through in real time, what I'm thinking about, and then trying to flesh out whether that's, you know, I hold that opinion after we go through the research or not. Like, I come in with my preconceived notions about how everything is going to be, almost like this bet show. Like, I only came in with one bet. I like to talk to you. I like to talk to everyone about betting, and then try to get as much information as I can before making my final decisions. And with Jason Day, like the form sucks. Like, it's really bad.
And to piggyback on your comment, I feel so grateful for the opportunity that you have presented me over the years to get a talk with you many times after you've already, I mean, the research show was more of a newer thing, but it used to be like the articles, which take like 15 hours. And I like getting to talk to you in sort of in my first look moments with a guy who's already freaking done research shows and research articles to tell me to shove my perceptions up my ass.
And so, Tim, if you're listening to this part, we are all just so grateful, okay? We're just so grateful out here. So don't hold it against us when you're picking against us, okay? Fucking asshole.
There's so many things to make fun of Tommy for. That's where he goes. I don't know whether he's just trolling me. And shit, I wanted to bring this up with Tim when he was on. His like live Twitter, it's Pat. He like retweets like the Live Fan Village. Okay? And like, who gives a shit? Do you know at every single PGA Tour event, there's like a fan village with food trucks and activations and like mini putt and games for kids and like this fun area? Like, that's at every single event. But he retweets them for like, I don't know. It's just weird. That's all. And the only way you'd probably retweet my picks for this week is if it has like Dustin Johnson on it.
Well, if
so I'll get the Tim bump if I put him on my card.
Yeah, that's good. That could be a move that works. Over 100 to 1, who are you looking at? Because down the list, the names that I have identified, and this is not new to anyone, mainly because I've been talking about them, and I even wrote them up in the newsletter this week when I put it out. But again, they were mainly as DraftKings plays, like Daniel Hillier, 275 to 1, Thirsty Lawrence, 500 to 1, Matthew Southgate. I mean, Tim said he couldn't win, but he is 500 to 1 to win this tournament. Ewan Ferguson. Realistically, I like Denny.
I'm in front of that.
What?
Yeah, you're giving like supers. Like the long shots I like are in front of those ones. Yeah.
I went to Kitayama last week at 200 to 1. I don't see why this is all that different than winning at API. Like, is he more likely to miss the cut than not? Yes, absolutely he is more likely to miss the cut. But I do feel like he has real win equity if he makes the cut.
Yeah, the guy shows up. Could he like outduel one of the big guys on the end? I don't know.
We've seen it. We've seen him do it against all of the best players in the world. At least I know that. Same as Wyndham Clark. Like Wyndham Clark went into an elevated event, outdueled the best players in the world, and it translated. He wasn't shook when he got there on Sunday at the U.S. Open. Kitayama did the same thing at Bay Hill. And like the names that he beat that day, like everyone was in that tournament except for Rahm, like because he had played himself out of it. But it was like Scheffler and Rory and Hatton, who had already won at that course. Fleetwood was making a run. Like it was all the players who were inside like the top 20 in odds.
Yeah, sorry. So I was still talking about Denny.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's probably my fault. Kitayama. I mean, you're on the train. If you want to ride him through Scotland, like that's I got nothing. I got no holes for Kitayama. Sungjae is like crossed 100, Pat. He must be playing like such ass, but he is straight as an arrow. So there certainly isn't red ink through that, but I don't know if I actually trust him. I will say Siwoo Kim is 200 to 1 at the place you bet Scheffler.
Really? Oh, I'll bet that right now while we're talking. What are his odds everywhere else? I thought they were like 90 to 1.
110 150 is the highest at a place that like I don't even know exists for people.
Yeah, 200 to 1.
I'm just looking at a grid.
Auto.
It's still 200, right?
Yeah, it's still 200. I didn't even.
Yeah, that seemed crazy to me. That seemed crazy.
Yeah, that's a big number for a guy who. Hey, listen, at least he fits at one trend of he's won this year. That helps.
Yeah, he's won this year. I mean, I always worry if like ever pulling the trigger on him with the majors that like we think guys have major pressure. I would feel the South Koreans, you know, it would be even like that much more intense.
Hey,
but,
he fits Tim's Sawgrass comp.
Yeah, if Siwoo is flushing it, like I'm not worried what's in his head.
All right.
I guess he should always be a little. So that one kind of caught my eye. Neiman must also be dead because on that side he was 200.
Yeah. I mean, I gave a very hard look to Neiman. I was looking at his recent form. 21st on Live, 10th on Live, 32nd at the U.S. Open. I mean, when you're coming 21st on Live, that's not great.
Yeah, no, some really uninspiring situations. I'm like going to play amateur psychologist. Him and his friend Mito are just enjoying their new normal.
Enjoying their Monday?
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point we'll get our form and he'll ratchet this bitch up and compete in a U.S. Open or a PGA for me. But I believe so much in his talent that I might only be able to stare at the 200 that I do see. It's 150 on DraftKings though, so it's not like you can get it. And
yeah, Siwoo, thanks for that shout. That's a good call. $30 pays 6,000. Let's have it. Let's go, Siwoo.
Wouldn't that be a gem?
Be nice.
Wouldn't that be a gem?
That's probably one that if he was in contention, I'd try to find a way to allocate some money elsewhere to see if I can hedge out of that.
Yeah, no, that 200 he shouldn't be 200, especially if we have got as you said, the Sawgrass crossovers.
And Augusta,
I don't have a ton here. I like to spend my money on better players.
You like to spend your money on guys who might actually win the tournament? I don't.
And I'm also not like the biggest each way guy, so I don't like my eyes like don't light up at like a placing. But hey, I mean, dudes probably how much did those Trevor Cohn placings play? Probably huge.
I don't know, but like a Thirsty Lawrence each way this week. And listen, you don't even need to use him, but his each way this week pays, let's see here, 100 to 1 to finish inside the top 8. It's not bad. And you still have the equity if he actually does win, or if he ends up in the final 3, and you can hedge some of that money out. It's not like it's a big investment. This is a very good week to look at all the major championships. If they're giving you 1/5 odds on the top 8 or even the top 10 in some places, I think it is worth making a few more bets down the board. And yeah, you're going to have to pay the dead heat rules. That sucks and everything. But just for example, this is why I think it's a good idea. I've spelled this out a couple times, but I think that, restating it doesn't hurt anyone at this point. So I just had 100 to 1 to finish inside the top 8 for Tristan Lawrence, in case you think that I don't know how to actually pronounce his name. But Thirsty Lawrence is just so much better. If we just look at the top finishes market and we go to top 10, let's say, which is the closest equivalent here, and we type in Lawrence, he's 20 to 1 to finish inside the top 10. So you can have a top 8 bet. Now, you have to bet double on it, because you still have to bet one side of the each way for the outright win, or one side of the each way for the top 8 finish. But you get 100 to 1 on that top 8 finish, or you can have a 20 to 1 for your top 8. You give up 2 placings, but you have to invest way less money, and you still have the equity of them winning.
I like what you've done there.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not, yeah. Again, these are usually on golfers that I'm just not investing in, period. I'd sometimes just be more tempted to play more money in their placing market than anything on them winning. But hey, for peace of mind, sometimes you've got to in that respect.
So here's an interesting one. Corey Connors is plus 750 to finish inside the top 10. Let's say you wanted to win $2,000 on... You'd have to bet $266 to win $2,000 on Corey Connors this week to finish inside the top 10. And the dead heat rules do apply on this as well. Like, you're going to get chopped if he's T9 with 4 other people, just like you would on the top 8. Now, I understand those 2 placement points are very, very valuable, but he's 20 to 1 to come inside the top 8 for this tournament. So to win $2,000 on that... Let's see here. 20, you'd have to bet 100. So if you won 100 hundreds, you'd have to bet, what did I say, 266 to win 2,000 on Corey Connors to finish inside the top 10 at plus 750. If you bet $200 on Corey Connors as a part of the each way, 100 towards the 100 to 1, and then the 100 towards the 20 to 1, you're investing 66 fewer dollars. Plus, you also have $100 on him at 100 to 1. So if he wins, you win 10 grand too.
Wow.
So think about these things. Like, when we get to larger markets in terms of golf betting, these are, listen, it's probably going to lose. I don't want to pretend like this is a winning bet, but when you start to and when he finishes solo 9th, you're going to feel like a fucking moron. But this is a way that you can squeeze some value out of these bets and not spend as much money for more upside if you want to finagle it and try to keep your bankroll intact.
That is always what I am looking to do. Finagle. I'm always for a good finagle.
Quick picks for the 151st Open Championship. I have wagered on Scotty Scheffler, who cannot win this tournament, according to Tim, at 10 to 1. That is all I have right now in the chamber as I try to figure out what else I want to do. I'm giving serious consideration to both Dustin and Morikawa at 35 and 40 to 1 right now if you shop around. And I'm probably just not going to get there on Ricky if he drifts at 20 or 22. That's just too short for me at this moment. If he gets to 28 or 30, then yeah, I'm absolutely interested. But 60% of that, not so much. This Connors thing at 100 to 1, I actually do kind of like. And obviously, I just bet Siwoo Kim at 200 to 1. Thanks to you. That would be very nice. And then the guys down the list, I'll probably bet top 20s, top 30s, and maybe even do those each way tricks with the top 8 to see if I can really maximize my value on like Hillier or Ferguson and Lawrence, Moronk, whoever it might be that I think fits up well. But I still have time to make those decisions. I'll probably include a lot of those in the Best Bet show on Tuesday with Rob and Cam. CUST, Power Rankings, Hideki, Brooks, and Gooch are the top 3. Scheffler, Fleetwood, Cantley, and Southgate are the people who cannot win. So those are CUST plays. What are your bets, Geoff?
So the bets that are in, it's my Victor Hovland future. I have bet Patrick Cantley at 35 to 1 on a reset that seems to be gone. And then we're into that next tier, the 30 on Xander, the 40 on DJ. I like those a bit more than Morikawa, but there's not red ink through that. So yeah, I might even pick 2 of those, and then we go all the way back. It's the Connors at 100 that has my eye. I'm a sucker. I don't know that I will be able to resist not betting Connors at 100. I pointed out this Siwoo to you. You've played it. I feel like I probably should. And I do not hate, like, DraftKings Pat has joined the maybe everyone got word that CUST picked them, because the Hidekis, people are joining the 100 that was alone. I feel like when we started the show, now has companies with other sites having bumped Hideki to 100. That just seems large.
Does seem large. Siwoo was 130 at DraftKings Sportsbook. If people were wondering, one and done picks for the week. CUST has gone with Brooks Koepka because he has previously used Hideki Matsuyama. I got to try to figure out who I'm going to use here. Who are you going to go with? Because I believe you won last week. Because did Fitz miss the cut at the Scottish? He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got $0.
I'm gonna go
Rory McIlroy. And you have not, unless you used Rory sometime in the past 3 weeks, which I doubt you would have done, then he is yours. I am going to use, I got to make sure I haven't used him yet. Scotty I've used, Rom I've used.
I am so dead in this. Like, you and Tim must be like double lapping me, so I haven't used really good players. I have to just fire it.
I'm using DJ. Well, I mean, there's 5 tournaments left. You probably should use good players if you have them left.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm so bad at one and done. Shout out to longtime fan of ours, our boy Jim Cummings won your what, a segment of the PME Open.
Yeah, they have we do obviously the season long one that starts at Sony, the race for the Mayo Cup, where 50 grand is up for grabs and there's like 4,000 people in it. But Jim won the major season one. It goes from the Masters through the Open Championship, and he's already locked it up.
What?
No one can catch him.
Okay, because as I'm saying it, I'm like, okay, I'm probably saying something correct because there's still a major. Maybe he was bragging about first place, but he already locked it up. That is insane.
I believe he's up by like 3.8 million, and I think 3.6 million is the winning purse for the Open Championship.
Golf clap. Like, that is a Michael Kim at John Deere-esque performance there, Jim.
Yeah, he's got us in Dormy, man.
That's crazy.
He fucking
3.5 million cleared.
Yeah, he's Tiger Woods. We're Stephen Ames out here.
Seems like it.
All right, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. So please enter the $2,000 giveaway. Those ratings and reviews are so important to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So please subscribe, download, rate, and review, and maybe you too can win $2,000. Also sub to the channel, smash like, play in the Listeners League, fantasynational.com/Mayo, and please sub to the newsletter where I will have all of the updated information. You can follow Jeff at GFienberg17, CUST, and his new tout site, realcustpicks.com. Please go there. And that will do it for me. We'll see you on Tuesday. We'll see you on Wednesday. But until then, I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!